Fellow gardeners, as the summer heat begins to fade and those first crisp mornings hint at autumn's arrival, many of us start thinking our growing season is winding down. But here's the secret I've learned after years of nurturing gardens through every season: fall might just be the most rewarding time to garden. The cooler temperatures, fewer pests, and that magical autumn light create perfect conditions for a stunning array of vegetables, flowers, and herbs that will keep your garden productive and beautiful well into winter. Today, I'm sharing my 12 favorite fall companions that have transformed my autumn harvests from sparse afterthoughts into abundant celebrations of the season. These aren't just plants that survive fall, they're varieties that absolutely thrive when others are calling it quits. Let me tell you something about kale that changed my entire perspective on this powerhouse green. While summer kale can be tough and bitter, fall kale becomes sweet, tender, and absolutely irresistible after the first frost. Those cold nights actually convert the starches in the leaves to sugars, creating a completely different eating experience. I've had the best success with winter boar and red boar varieties, which not only taste incredible but add stunning purple and blue-green colors to the garden. Plant your kale seeds 10 to 12 weeks before your first hard frost, and you'll be harvesting tender leaves right through December in most zones. So the key is really consistent moisture and, rich, well-draining soil that's been enriched with compost. Brussels sprouts, honestly, taught me the virtue of patience in gardening. These slow-growing beauties, they need a long growing season, but wow, the payoff is just extraordinary. Start them in midsummer for a fall harvest, and then just watch as those tiny cabbages develop along tall, sturdy stalks. Alright, here's my secret for perfect Brussels sprouts. Once the plants are established and the sprouts start forming, you want to remove the lower leaves gradually. This directs energy into sprout development. And that first frost? Oh, it's like nature's seasoning, making the sprouts sweeter and honestly more flavorful than anything you'll find in a grocery store. Fall carrots are in a league of their own. The cool soil temperatures slow their growth, allowing sugars to concentrate and develop complex flavors that summer carrots simply can't match. I've found that Paris Market and Scarlet Nantes varieties perform exceptionally well in fall conditions. The trick with fall carrots is timing your planting so they're mature but not overgrown by the time hard frosts arrive. In my Zone 6 garden, I plant my fall carrot crop in early August. The key to success is keeping the soil consistently moist during germination and ensuring your soil is loose and rock-free for proper root development. Swiss chard has become my go-to green for fall gardens because it's incredibly forgiving and produces continuously. The colorful stems of varieties like Bright Lights add architectural interest to the garden while providing endless harvests of nutritious leaves. What I love about chard is its cut-and-come-again nature. Harvest the outer leaves regularly, and the center keeps producing new growth. It handles light frosts beautifully and often continues producing until temperatures drop into the low 20s. Nasturtiums are absolute magic in the fall garden. These trailing beauties with their lily pad leaves and vibrant flowers not only add stunning color, but also provide edible flowers and leaves with a delightful peppery bite. I scatter nasturtium seeds throughout my vegetable beds in late summer, and they create living mulch while attracting beneficial insects. The flowers make gorgeous additions to salads, and I love crystallizing them for elegant dessert garnishes. Both leaves and flowers contain natural compounds that may help support the immune system, perfect for the season when we're thinking about winter wellness. Calendula, or pot marigold, has earned a permanent place in my fall garden for both its beauty and utility. These golden and orange blooms continue flowering until hard frost, providing consistent color when many other flowers are fading. But calendula is much more than just pretty. It's been used traditionally for skin healing and makes wonderful infused oils and salves. So I direct sow calendula seeds in late summer and, they often self-sow for the following year. The petals are actually edible and add this slightly peppery flavor to soups and salads, while also giving a beautiful golden color. Nothing really captures the whimsical spirit of fall gardening quite like violas and pansies. These cheerful faces just peek out from between vegetables and herbs, creating these delightful surprises all throughout the garden. They're actually remarkably cold hardy and often bloom right through winter, especially in milder climates. I like to plant them in late summer to early fall, choosing varieties in deep purples, golden yellows, and those rich burgundies that really echo autumn's color palette. The flowers are completely edible and make stunning garnishes for everything from soups to cocktails. Sage reaches its peak just as we're thinking about holiday cooking, making it perfectly timed for fall gardens. The silvery gray leaves become more aromatic as temperatures cool, and many varieties produce beautiful flower spikes in shades of purple, pink, or white. I grow several types of sage, including culinary sage for cooking and ornamental varieties like Maynight for their stunning flowers. Sage is incredibly drought-tolerant once established, and actually prefers the cooler, drier conditions of fall over summer's heat and humidity. In milder climates, rosemary provides year-round structure and fragrance to the garden. This Mediterranean herb actually prefers the cooler temperatures of fall and winter, growing more actively when summer's heat subsides. The needle-like leaves are perfect for seasoning roasts and root vegetables, while the blue flowers attract late-season pollinators. If you're in a colder climate, consider growing rosemary in containers that can be moved to protected areas during winter. Honestly, the investment in a good-sized rosemary plant pays dividends in both cooking and garden fragrance. Thyme forms beautiful, fragrant carpets that suppress weeds while providing continuous harvests. Fall is actually the perfect time to plant thyme, as it establishes roots during cool weather and will be ready for vigorous growth in spring. The tiny flowers are beloved by beneficial insects and are completely edible. I particularly love lemon thyme for its bright citrus notes, and honestly, creeping thyme is just fantastic for covering up those bare spots in the garden. Both are incredibly hardy and often stay green throughout winter, providing fresh herbs even in the coldest months. Oregano brings the warmth of Mediterranean cuisine to fall gardens. The leaves actually become more concentrated in flavor as temperatures cool, making fall the ideal time for harvesting and preserving. Many oregano varieties produce beautiful flower clusters that attract butterflies and beneficial insects. I grow both common oregano for cooking and golden oregano for its bright foliage that lights up those darker corners of the garden. Both types are excellent for drying and will provide flavorful herbs throughout the winter months. Parsley is incredibly cold-hardy and often survives winter in many climates, making it one of the most reliable herbs for fall planting. Both flat-leaf and curly varieties have their merits, flat-leaf for cooking and curly for garnishing and attracting beneficial insects. I succession plant parsley every few weeks through late summer to ensure a continuous supply of fresh leaves. It's particularly valuable in fall when many other fresh herbs are declining, and it stores beautifully when chopped and frozen in ice cube trays with a little water or olive oil. The beauty of fall gardening lies not just in individual plants but in how they work together to create a productive, beautiful, and sustainable garden ecosystem. These 12 plants complement each other perfectly. The flowers attract beneficial insects that help control pests on the vegetables, while the herbs provide natural pest deterrent through their aromatic compounds. As you plan your fall garden, remember that success comes from understanding your specific climate and soil conditions. Start with a few varieties that excite you most, and expand your repertoire as you gain experience with fall gardening techniques. The rewards of fall gardening extend far beyond the harvest. There's something deeply satisfying about stepping into the garden on a crisp October morning, basket in hand, to gather fresh vegetables and herbs, while most gardens lie dormant. It's a reminder that with the right knowledge and planning, our gardens can provide for us almost year-round. So fellow gardeners, I encourage you to embrace the magic of fall gardening. Plant these beautiful and productive varieties, and discover the joy of harvesting fresh, flavorful food when the rest of the world thinks the growing season is over. If this guide has inspired you to try fall gardening, I'd love to hear about your experiences. Subscribe to Soil Sage Chronicles for more seasonal gardening wisdom, and don't forget to share this article with fellow gardeners who might be ready to extend their growing season. Together we can keep our gardens and our tables abundant through every season of the year.